As you know, one of my constant themes here on Sky News and in my columns in The Australian is the way the media political class is so often wildly out of touch with mainstream values and concerns, and how the same media political class often ignores or even defies the will of the people on issues like climate, on borders, on energy, on water, on overseas aid. The so-called elites think that they know better than the people who elect them and often pay their wages. Well, I want to show you an example of a politician who seems to get this, who is trying to fight back on behalf of democracy and mainstream voters. Now, like all of us, he's far from perfect. But when it comes to clarity of expression, delivered with a sense of humour, and at least trying to do what voters have asked him to do, I reckon he's on the money. He is, of course, the new British Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. And here he is talking to the Tory conference in Britain last night.
If Parliament were a reality TV show, then the whole lot of us, I'm afraid, would have been voted out of the jungle by now. But at least we'd have had the consolation of watching the Speaker being forced to eat a kangaroo testicle. And the sad truth is that voters have more say. Voters have more say over I'm a celebrity than they do over this House of Commons, which refuses to deliver Brexit, refuses to do anything constructive and refuses to have an election. Just at the moment when voters are desperate for us to focus on their priorities.
He's spot on, of course. British voters have got a parliament that not only won't do what it was asked to do in a referendum, leave the EU, it won't give the people an election either. Surely they either need to do the business or get off the pot. Now, Brexit is, of course, the issue in the UK, and Johnson seems to understand how it represents a whole lot more than that.
Let's get Brexit done by October the 31st, because we have to get on and deliver on the priorities of the people. To answer the cry of those 17.4 million who voted for Brexit, because it is only by delivering Brexit that we can address that feeling in so many parts of the country that they've been left behind, ignored, that their towns were not only suffering from a lack of love and investment, but their views had become somehow unfashionable or unmentionable. And let's get Brexit done for those millions who may have voted Remain, but who are first and foremost Democrats. And who accept the result of the referendum and want to get on. And when I say that I want us to work together now to bring this country together.
Yep, I reckon there are lessons here for the United States, for Europe and for Australia too. Voters are sick of politicians and unelected so-called elites presuming to tell us what is right, sensible or fashionable. Sovereignty matters to voters, cheap and plentiful energy and water matters to voters, secure borders and controlled immigration matter to voters, and democracy and government competence matter to all of us, surely. Political games in Washington, Westminster or our Senate might amuse the politicians and the journalists, and the constant turmoil might empower the oppositionists and the special interest groups. But in the end, it's always the voters who have the final say, and they tend to act with good sense and conviction.